All right, welcome to a new episode of the Opening Bid Unfiltered podcast. I'm Yahoo Finance executive editor Brian Sozzi, and I'm really jazzed up about this episode. Most of you don't know this. I'm a little bit of a collectible fan. I try to collect what I can. I'm probably not collecting the right things. That's why I'm bringing in my featured guest for this episode, Ghostright founder and CEO Josh Luber, who also co-founded StockX. And Josh, this is one of my most prized collectibles now. This is the Starbucks barista. I'm just going to show it to the camera like a dumbass. I took it out of the box. Stupid, right? And you could tell me I'm this stupid.
I don't know how much long-term value Starbucks collectibles are going to have. Ooh. So, I don't want to throw too much shade if they're going to go too far down that path. But, I mean, it's such a phenomenal, microcosm of, the entire world right now that, this is the one we put on the table and not, a baseball card or, pair of shoes or something like that. So it's great.
It was either this or some from random Funko out of my collection. And then, I got to give, I forgot who it was, Lexus Ohanian. I talked to him, a big collectibles guy. I talked to him a couple months ago, and I'm like, Lex, I just found all of my Batman trading cards that I pulled, I think, in the late 80s. He's like, yeah, dude, they're worthless. I'm shocked. I can't believe it. Why are these not worth anything?
We're about the same age. Every single person, at least guy our generation goes through the exact same thing where they find all their cards in their closet, they call up somebody who's in the know, and they're disappointed when they find out they're all worthless. And I mean, the answer is simple. The answer is Econ 101. It's just supply and demand at its most basic. And back then, they just flooded the market with that stuff, no one had any idea, and we all go through it. I mean, literally, we all go through it. There's literally a line somewhere deep in a footnote of the white paper of if you're 47 and don't know what you're talking about, this one's for you, and that's fine. We all go through it because that's what it was like in the 80s and 90s where they didn't understand about scarcity and supply and
Did you
all that,
flip?
so.
Did you flip your cards?
I'm back in cards more heavy now than I've ever been. When I left StockX, I actually went and I created Fanatics Collectibles with Michael Rubin. So that company was bigger, faster, crazier by everything. And so I got to be full scale back in it from a kid in the 80s and then to come back in the hobby in 2018, 2019. It was just it's been phenomenal. I mean, it's I buy and sell cards every single day right now, and it's just a blast to be back in that hobby.
All right, so I thank you for briefly mentioning your career. Because I want to skip that because I want to get into some of the things.
That's not fun.
No, it's not. It's not fun at all. So the other thing, and I want to get into this white paper, 30,000 word white paper you just dropped. I loved it. Another thing I found in my closet ahead of this. Remember Pogs?
Yeah, of course.
I have the O.J. Simpson metal Pog, Star Pog, that I used to use in school. Should I be holding on to this stuff?
I don't know. This is the other part of this is that there's so many different, little niches around collectability. And I never collected Pogs. I don't know what the market's like for it. Maybe.
Maybe.
Right? That's a perfect, there's so many, parts like that. I'll tell you really quick story. So when I was CEO of StockX, we were at Nike. This is year 2. And I was giving a talk and it was 300 people in the room, and we were explaining StockX and everything else. And we sort of get to Q&A, and there's this guy all the way in the back of the room. It's a huge room. And he's really, really wants me to pick on him. And I finally choose this guy, and he goes, I just want you to know, when you guys get to banjos, I'm your guy. And I was like, okay, right? And that's the thing. It's that guy collects banjos and the whole thing. And I'm sure so I don't know, find the banjo pod guy, and I'll figure out how much it's worth.
But is that how a lot of your time is spent? You do something that, you could instantly relate with people. You and I, we're sitting here already talking about collectibles and Batman cards.
Yeah. Well, that's also just our generation, right? We're, but it's our generation is now the people that are sitting here at the head of Yahoo and we're making companies and stuff like that. And so we get the ones that, you just mentioned
we finally have money, Josh. We got to go buy the things we wanted.
That is exactly what happened. The whole market just reset because we could go out there and buy the Michael Jordan card we couldn't afford when we were kids. So, yeah.
All right. So the blind boxification of everything, awesome white paper. I read it from top to bottom. One thing that stood out to me, and this kind of plays into my thinking on these Batman cards, the price of legend cards are not they're not going up, right?
Well, that's that general statement misses the sort of next layer down, which is it depends. It depends. Are there some legend cards that have been rebuilt with scarcity and collectability in mind, or they're just cards that have too much volume? But that's okay. I mean, there's a wide range that some cards are meant to, I don't want to say be worthless, but not to be worth thousands of dollars and tens of thousands of dollars. That anyone can go and get a Larry Bird card or a Magic Johnson card. So
Michael Jordan card is still going to be super valuable, or it depends?
Well, and it depends. You can go find a Michael Jordan card for $1, right? On the other hand, the most expensive card that ever sold was a Jordan card, sold 6 months ago for almost $13 million. So,
For the collectible noob out there, what does it mean? What did you mean by this is the year of the blind box?
I think at this point everyone is familiar with Labubu, or at least the word. I
was so late on Labubu. I was so late on it.
I'll tell you, I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I held off forever. And I was like, listen, you are not going to be the last one on a trend. Like, there's no way. And,
you're the coolest dad in the school.
And my wife was like, come on, just let her have the thing. I was like, all right. So, Labubu really showed kind of the rest of the world. The power of blind boxes, the power of gamified commerce, right? Because, and by the way, most of the stories about Labubu focus on Rihanna or K-pop or TikTok and that stuff's all true too. But like at the core of it, the mechanic was you didn't know what color Labubu you were going to get. And you didn't know if you were going to get the black one, which was the secret. And it wasn't that rare. It was 1 out of 72. So when you look at, the rarity of trading cards, the Jordan that sold for $13 million is a 1-of-1 card. That's it. The only one. So it really opened up a lot of companies to see that, oh, wow, like that's a really simple mechanic. And we could incorporate that into our business in a lot of different ways. And I also say there is something about, you and I sitting here talking about as kids and everything we collected. It's a largely male-dominated thing, for us as kids doing it. Labubu opened this up to the other half of the world, right? And so now you had both half the worlds that are into the gamification of it, and then you have all these companies like Starbucks and Lids and Le Creuset and all these other companies that are now trying to figure out, well, how do we do that? How do we get the hype of it? Yeah, which is,
what?
Yeah, but that's the thing, and now you have these other companies trying to figure out how do we get the hype and excitement and dollars that Pop Mart flew in over that period of time.
Why? Before we get more into this white paper, what makes these things take off? At the end of the day, in its most simplest form, this is a damn cup that is made out of glass. I look at Labubu, it's a thing. Like, how do these become instant collectibles, or how do they capture the zeitgeist out of nowhere?
Yeah, look, it really is just supply and demand, and the demand half of the equation works when you hit that intersection of culture and commerce, right? Where you have, look, Starbucks. What percentage of the population knows Starbucks? I don't know, all. So you have a world where, like Labubu, you had this intersection of Rihanna and K-pop and all this other stuff, and again, culture and commerce and those things apply. But it is just supply and demand at its most basic level. And so just even forgetting how rare something is, if there's more demand for something than there is supply, right, that product is going to sell for more. And so that's like I said, this is Econ 101 at its most basic.
Are today's Labubus going to be this generation's versions of my Batman cards, like 20 years from now, totally worthless?
No, Labubu is already Beanie Babies. Like, they've already gone through the full cycle that took Beanie Babies 6-7 years to go through. That's because of, the internet and everything, why our economy moves faster than it did in the 90s. But that's because Pop Mart didn't intend and didn't manage Labubu to be a collectible like trading cards and so they were happy to just make as many as they would make and people would buy them. And the fact that they resold for more, that is a function of the secondary market, which Pop Mart's not trying to do that. They're just trying to sell as many products as they can, which is in the 80s, they were just trying to sell as many packs of Batman cards as they can.
Yeah, it's true. Why is the card market booming?
In 2018, 2019, trading card market started to come back. A lot of people looked at the pandemic and the Last Dance documentary as a sort of moment where trading cards didn't come back. And then the whole world went crazy in 21, right? Mm-hmm. And trading cards went crazy in 21, just like everything else, and then came down just like everything else. But the core collector part of trading cards are still there. And trading cards have fundamentally built in true supply and demand, true scarcity. And so as faux financial assets, right, they still have that inherent disconnect between supply and demand. Labubus, they just kept making them, as many as they would make. And so, this also, I think there's something about, sports and, the evolving nature of sports and content and everything we know about sort of how content is going to change with AI. There's so many different parts of this, but at the core of it is when more money comes in, They want the products that are most rare, that are most valuable, and so it's the top of the market that is going nuts. I mean, we've had 6 of the most expensive card sales in all time in the last 6 months. All these cards that are over $5 million. So, and that's only going to continue because you just have this like natural scarcity that exists.
If I think back 15 years ago and I bought 100 shares of NVIDIA, I probably wouldn't be here having this conversation with you.
Right.
Like, I'd just be chilling, to be honest with you. Like, what is that, I guess, card or cards today that are emerging that could be the next big thing?
Well, as you may know, Fanatics took over the trading card licenses a couple years ago, and I was part of that. But they just they acquired the licenses a couple years ago, but they just started using them. So only a couple months ago, they released their first fully licensed basketball set. Topps Chrome Basketball. So this is the first time that Topps has made basketball cards, fully licensed basketball cards. In trading cards, you need 2 licenses. You need a license from the league and then the players. And then they'll also take over the NFL license at the end of the year. So what we're going to see by the time we get to the end of 26 is a kind of like steady state trading card industry where now the people that are in it, you have Fanatics that makes the majority of the cards, and you have PSA that does the grading, and then you have the marketplaces around it. You have an economy that has a ton of money, a ton of like very mature companies that understand, how to grow and what's, but like, it is like almost day zero from the market as a whole. So it'll be very what percentage of NBA fans collect basketball cards? I don't know. It's got to be like less than a fraction of a point, right? And so now that the leagues and the teams are partners in these companies, the same way that sports betting, you're going to walk into an arena and can be able to bet on games when you walk in. You'll walk in the arena and be able to buy trading cards when you walk in at your seat. So, which is a short way of saying like the whole market is still very, very early. Specifically, that's a much tougher question to identify what part is going to be.
I'm looking for my next great investment.
I know.
That's what I'm trying to like.
I know. I'd be very careful not to. We'll do that one offline.
We'll do it offline.
But it is the whole industry is pretty nascent in terms of when you look at the other industries of the same size and how sophisticated and how well they are. I mean, we just started marketing the hobby for the first time ever this past year. The first time there's ever been trading card marketing. Is only in the past year, and so it's a very interesting time to look back in a couple years and see where we're at.
All right, hang with us, Josh. We're gonna go off for a short break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Opening Bid Unfiltered. I'm Yahoo Finance Executive Editor Brian Sozzi, having a fun chat here with Josh Luber, Ghostright founder and CEO, StockX co-founder. And before we even get back to the conversation, got to give a shout out to Yahoo Sports. They have a new collectibles vertical on their site. I mean, this thing's awesome. Can I just plug my own company for once?
I'd like to think that I helped start that. I've been pushing the people behind the scenes that you guys should be covering this
Ryan
more.
Spoon. I mean, he's a legend in collectibles in his own right.
That's right. I've known Ryan for a very long time, and I'm trying to move the Bear Bricks out of his office and Ghost into his office.
You should see his office. I have to take you back. You have to, you've seen it.
Oh yeah, I've seen it.
Okay.
And we're slowly filling up more ghosts than there are the bears there. But yeah, I mean, as collectibles become more and more, I don't want to say of a real industry, but as a larger and more robust industry, you guys should be covering them the same way that you cover every other industry.
So true. Before I get into what you're doing here at Ghostright, so I went to StockX. I go in there from time to time, and for the first time, I saw boxes of cereal on the website. I mean, and I'm like, I had to ask Josh about this. What food is now collectible?
Mm-hmm. Well, there's maybe about a half a dozen of those boxes. What happened was, a couple years ago, some of the cereal companies started to ask some of the large fashion designers to redesign some of the boxes. And I think the first one was when Cause, who's a famous artist, did one of the boxes. And then what happens is they design the box. It could sell out, but what happens is collectors say, "Oh, I'm going to hold that one aside," and then someone else wants it. It's just again, it's just supply and demand. But those are collaborations with artists and designers and other people. I have one. I think it's like an Ambush one. Ambush is a Japanese streetwear company. I have like an Ambush. I don't know what it is.
Where do you keep all these? What does your collectibles collection even look like?
We should put that up as a thing. It's like Ryan's office except times whatever large number you want to put behind it. Yeah.
Where do you keep all this stuff?
Well, I moved to Austin, so when I used to live in New York, it was much different. I live in Austin now, so I can have multiple rooms for this stuff.
Nice. All right, so take us through Ghostright, what it is and what you're working on.
So I left Fanatics Collectibles in summer of 22 after we acquired Topps, brought a management team, and it's 4 years almost from now, and I left for the very specific purpose of, can we create the mechanism of trading cards but use a different form factor? And so Ghostright is a collectible toy brand, but it's funny. We should. You want to open one?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
All of this is right up my alley. I
Yeah.
I don't portray it on TV, but like this is who I am at my core.
Okay. So here.
Thank you.
Each one. So this is the WNBA set, which is actually live right now on our set. But this is a blind box. There's multiple different forms of Ghostright, and I should really have one to show before we open it. But this is like a box of trading cards, where this is with the WNBA set. So we're gonna look for different players in here. Paige Becker's rookie Ghost is the big one, or Asia Wilson, Sabrina, all the top players. But what we really want are the rare variants. And so there's a gold version that has a gold crown that's numbered to 10. There's a chrome crown that's numbered to 5. There's a fire
when these boxes
101.
exist? Like, do you know?
I don't know. No, I that would be a really big problem if I did. But from a value standpoint, when we did the Major League Baseball set last year, the Shohei Ohtani fire crown, the 1 of 1, so the most rare of the best player, sold on the secondary market for $44,000. It's a 2-inch piece of plastic.
Wow.
But this is the whole thing. What's a trading card? Trading card's a little 2-inch piece of cardboard, right?
In a piece of plastic.
And so it's the exact same idea. Is we take all the mechanics of trading cards and use a different form factor. Unfortunately, we have licenses with the NBA and Major League Baseball and WWE and UFC. So let's open our box and
Can
see
I
what
open it? Like, I'm afraid. I don't want you to
yeah.
like tap me or something. If I open
that one's yours. This one's mine. So
is there a right way to? Oh, you just rip it open.
there's a little pull tab on the top. So what we really want are rare variants, but it would also be
what was
good.
the collectible one? Like the gold one?
Yeah, so you'll see if there's a shiny crown. It's very much like trading cards, where there's number to 50, a number to 25, a number to 10, a 5, and a 1.
Oh, I love that there's no more wrapping in here. I love
and
it.
then there's the little gold. So
This is big. This is cool. This is so on my alley. My friends, longtime friends, know this is right on my alley. Let's see. Now I just got to open it.
so there's a little there's like a on the side. Yeah.
Where's the team? Come in here and help me open this.
Yeah, should be like a little notch on.
See, this is like real time, guys. What we're doing. Oh, here we go. Right in front of my
There.
face. I had it backwards.
So all right, so this is a good. So there's no gold crown, there's no shiny crown. So that means this is a base. This is like a standard Ghost.
Nice weight. These are cool as hell, man.
There's a lot of work that went into figuring out like what should the shape be, because the shape is the brand. Have you seen the larger ones in Ryan's office?
So the Undertaker, Ryan.
Yeah.
Those, yeah.
Like, it can be a WNBA player, it can be Undertaker, it could be a basketball. We did one last week that was a pencil. But so if you look on the bottom of the foot, it'll tell you how many exist. And so the bottom of the foot will tell you. So there's when it was manufactured, and then .800 means that one's out of 800. So there's 800 base, and then if it was a gold crown, it would say 10 number, just like trading cards. And so I got Nafisa Collier, who's probably maybe the second best player in the league right now. And that's work. So this is our 4th set. We've done WNBA, NBA, Major League Baseball, second version of WNBA, but NBA comes out next week during All-Star, then Major League Baseball, then WWE, and like. This, again, I can't stress enough. This is just a box of trading cards, and it works the exact same way. And so the secondary market for the rare ones, the Caitlin Clark gold number to 10 sells for $4,000 on eBay.
Wow. I just want to take you. So Brian, I just opened this. I took it out of the box. I have not felt that unboxing experience still. I really think since I opened cards, it's one thing to get an iPhone. You see you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
There was just something to this experience I got to think on a little bit more that I have not experienced since maybe I got that OJ Slammer for my Pogs like back in the day. It was what, but like.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I got this. I mean, do people trade these?
Yeah.
On
This is the same thing. And this is what I said. This is why that feeling that. By the way, the whole white paper is about experience. It's not about products, right? This is how like the gambling industry exists. This is how all of this. The short version of like 140 pages is that you have the normalization of gambling becoming more and more common to the point where now with
prediction markets.
Right, where prediction markets, you can now basically bet on anything. And it's made gamified commerce that much more normalized to the point where you can basically bet on any product, right? Any blind box, you can create that experience. And that's what Labubu did, is it made it so the most simple version is, what am I going to get? What's coming out of here? And that level of excitement. when you take it another level, and now you have true collectability in here, where if you get, the gold. By the way, there's a $15,000 bounty on the Paige Becker's 1 of 1, right? So.
Which may be in this box?
It may be in this box, yeah. I truly have no idea, right? Actually, here, let's do one other.
Can I do one more?
So this is the NBA box from our last set. So what we really want out of here, again, is a rare variant, but there's a Wemby in here, Steph. There's also, by the way, we have a famous fan. We just steal from trading cards. So in the WNBA set, the famous fan is Lena Waithe, and the NBA set, the famous fan is Eminem.
Come on, Gold Crown.
So there's an Eminem wearing a Pistons jersey that you could get as well.
So you're my new friend. I've determined that, and I want to share this with you. I actually also recently went digging for my 80s McDonald's toys. Now, there's a ton of these things on eBay. I get it, and I'm not expecting to get rich off them, but there was something about these toys.
Yeah.
I still have them. I have like 75 of them at my house.
Well, the McDonald's Pokemon stuff has been nuts, and they're about to release a new one.
Really? Oh, no gold crown. But Jason Tatum.
Nice.
That's a win.
Ooh, Steph Curry.
Like, wait, is this whole box mine? I do want to trade.
Yeah.
I do want to trade.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Only because I have many Steph Currys already. But
sorry,
Steph,
guys.
Yeah.
There's very few moments in the past 20 years of my life that I've been able to actually be human. This is one of them, and has morphed into something really cool. And
plus, I got a little color match going on with the Nafisa Kalei.
This is awesome. So I have some rapid fire ones for you.
Go.
The best way to invest in a collectible.
The simplest way to invest in a collectible is unopened Pokemon boxes. That's the simplest way.
Okay. Your holy grail collectible, and why?
Oh. Well, I have a Shohei Ohtani card that is, most people would acknowledge as maybe his second best card ever. I think it's his best card ever. Regardless, I paid about $100,000 for it a couple years ago, and I've had multiple offers over $2 million, and I've turned it down. And I think that I think it might legitimately be the best trading card in the history of trading cards. And I just got super lucky that I happened to buy this one card at this one time, and Ohtani is Ohtani. So,
are you buried with this thing, or are you just at some point you're gonna just have to sell it?
No. I'm in it for $100,000. So I have a lot of other cards too, but that one,
crazy.
and this is how it happens, is like, I'm not paying $2 million for a card, but if I get lucky and, you have a card that goes from $100,000 to $2 million, like, this is where the market's at. Obviously, by the way, I have other stories that have gone the other way. So, don't
Let's
think
just focus on the wins here.
It's not that easy, but yeah, that Ohtani card's a monster.
All right, next one. LeBron is probably nearing retirement soon. After he retires, what do you think the market looks like for his cards, sneakers, you name it, hats, memorabilia?
Yeah, it doesn't change at all. And same thing is, like, Wemby cards are just astronomically expensive because his whole career is basically already built into the price because we see of what he could be. And LeBron his whole career has been written. So it's already baked in his price. His cards won't change when he retires. I will say, to be a little bit morbid, when Kobe died, his autograph cards went up in value. Actually, everything went up in value, but particularly his autograph cards, because now he can no longer sign. And so you have a little bit of that happens when an athlete dies. But for the most part, most athletes, their cards, their prices are already built in. I mean, you could argue that Cooper Flagg's price is already built in. Not to be, I paid $80,000 for a Cooper Flagg card last week. I think it's a monster card, and I think it can have the same trajectory as that Ohtani I just bought. But that's wild, right? Like, he's amazing, but he's also played 40 games. So
sure.
Yeah.
Last one. What is the fascination with these Honus Wagner cards? Now, I ask you this because I have grown up seeing this one photo on a card. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Of Honus Wagner. And there's just something about this. What makes this card so valuable?
Yeah. This is you can't have a better story about story. I mean, this card, which is it's a tobacco card from 1909. Honus Wagner was one of the first 5 people inducted into the Hall of Fame. Most people consider him to be the best player of baseball's first generation. But the card was very rare at the time. There weren't a lot of men made, and just over the years, it's developed this mythology. Wayne Gretzky bought at the time in 1991, he bought the most expensive Honus Wagner ever. It was $450,000 in 1991. So you have this just mythology that has been building for for a century. And so, how many exist? No one really knows. There's only 37 that have been graded by PSA. So maybe there's like 50 or 60 that exist. But if that Ken Kendrick, who's the owner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, owns the one that Wayne Gretzky owned, which is the one that's in best condition, if that card ever went to market, $50 million, it's probably.
Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome. Well, I could do this all day. I have to go. It was a real treat to meet you.
This is a blast, man. Thanks for having me.
I mean, where can I get those like big rhinestone like Ghostrights?
Yeah,
on the site?
absolutely.
All
Yeah, all on ghostwrite.com.
All right, I appreciate it. Good to see you, Josh.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's it for the latest episode of Opening Bid Unfiltered. This was my favorite episode I've done in like 6 months. And we've been cranking these things out, guys. Continue to hit us with that love on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, iHeartMedia, and probably 30 other places I'm forgetting about right now. Thank you so much.